I am going to talk about something I know you like. You're going to like this, Mark. Somebody give me a drum roll and fife and drums. The Bill of Rights.
Oh boy.
From the United States Constitution. The First Amendment of the Bill of Rights says this: Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, or abridging the freedom of speech or of the press, or the right of the people to peaceably assemble and to petition the government for a redress of grievances. It has become an accepted truth in the United States, and one that the United States has helped to be believed around many places around the world, that all people have freedom of speech. Would you agree with that statement?
Yes, most people believe it.
We've been brainwashed to believe that.
That's what I say. It's become an accepted truth. This is a lie straight from the pits of hell. The Constitution, now I'm not a constitutional lawyer, but I learned how to read when I was a little kid, and I learned how to understand what I was reading. So think about what this said. The Constitution is not about what people are allowed to do, but rather what the government is prevented from doing. The Constitution doesn't say you can say anything you want. It just says the government can't prevent you from doing it. If I own a store and you come into my store and you're talking filth, I have the right. You want to know something? I don't care the misinterpretation of the Constitution. I'll tell you either watch your mouth or leave the premises. If I have somebody working for me, you know what? I have the right to determine the kind of things they're going to say and the kind of things they're not going to say. When I was a child, my parents, unlike the government, were not restrained at all from prohibiting me from saying whatever I wanted to say.
That's what soap is for.
I got my mouth washed out with soap to prove it. That's right. Today, the government would probably cart my parents off and take me away and put me in a foster home and call it child abuse. But the fact of the matter is, I can remember the first time when I tried to be, I think I was 10 years old, maybe 8 years old, when I determined that I was going to be very adult. And I walked
Yo-yo.
Alice knows the story, and I got to tell it. My dad had gotten me a yo-yo, and it was the first yo-yo, that could sleep, stay down. And I threw that yo-yo, and it would just stay down. I threw that yo-yo, it would just stay down. So I walked into my mother and father, and I thought I would be very adult about this. I said, "This yo-yo doesn't work." Well, I was blowing bubbles for a week. I found out then that I didn't have any freedom of speech.
That's right.
And God, as your father, does the same thing.
Yes, I tell you, he does. Think about this, okay? Our Father in heaven has made it perfectly clear that I still don't have freedom of speech. Think of these verses, and there's so many more verses, but I just give you a couple, right? This is not a suggestion, by the way. This is not a suggestion about, oh, what a nice life. This is a commandment of God. Let no unwholesome word proceed from your mouth, but only such a word as is good for edification according to the need of the moment, so that it will give grace to those who hear. Ephesians 4:29.
This is your Father speaking.
But this is a command.
That's right.
Through 1 Peter 4:11 says, whoever, and it's writing to the church, whoever speaks, let him speak as it were the utterances of God. We are restrained and restricted in what we are allowed to say. Like Jesus, we shouldn't say anything that we haven't heard. That's why James wrote and said, be quick to listen. You got to be slow to speak. You got to be quick to listen. Hear from God before you let your mouth go to work, right? But in that same verse in 1 Peter, it says, whoever serves, let him do so as by the strength which God supplies, so that in all things God may be glorified. It deals with what you say and what you do, okay? Jesus made this clear for anybody who has ears to hear. Jesus said to his disciples, if anyone wishes to come after me, let him deny himself, take up his cross, and follow me. Matthew 16:24. It is about selflessness. It is about dying to self. It is about understanding that you are not your own. You were purchased with a price. You are obligated. We're supposed to be disciples, instructed. What does it mean to be walking according to the Spirit instead of the flesh? Thy word is a lamp to my feet and a light to my path. We're supposed to be led by the Word of God, the Spirit of God.
Thy word is strength. Thy word is power. Your word is kind, and your word is true. Thy word is a lamp unto my feet and a light unto my path. Thy word have I hid, O God, in my heart.